Welcome to section 9.20. This is the 94th session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover the common ways a security architecture gets undermined. How does data escape through a channel nobody is watching? What happens when design and coding flaws leave doors ajar? Which new flaws arrive with AI and machine learning? How does a rootkit hide in plain sight? And how do slow, tiny attacks slip past you? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because no architecture is ever perfectly secure, and attackers are relentlessly creative. Picture an accounting firm that trusts its systems completely and never watches for the quiet stuff. A rounding trick siphons pennies for months, and a hidden backdoor lets an insider stroll in at will. Knowing these flaw patterns is what lets you spot the subtle attack before it becomes a very public one. So how does data escape through a channel nobody is watching? Through a covert channel, a path used for communication that was never meant for it, so your normal controls do not guard it. It is the opposite of an overt channel, which is known, authorized, and monitored. There are two flavors. A covert timing channel leaks information by subtly altering the timing or performance of a component, like nudging a system's behavior in a pattern an observer can decode. A covert storage channel hides data by writing it somewhere another process can quietly read, such as unused disk space the operating system ignores. Both are hard to catch because they live outside your normal oversight. Your best defense is thorough auditing and hunting the logs for anomalies. Think of tapping a coded rhythm on a shared wall that the guards never think to listen to. What happens when design and coding flaws leave doors ajar? You inherit weaknesses that attackers love. Some come from deliberate shortcuts, like a maintenance hook or backdoor, a special entry point built into code during development to skip the usual security checks, which becomes a serious hole if it is not removed before release. Others come from plain mistakes, poor practices, or thin testing, and a program that mishandles an error can crash into an unstable state that an attacker exploits to gain higher privilege. That kind of failure can wreck the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your system. The remedy is security-conscious design from the start. Code review and testing tools run throughout development, since flaws caught early cost far less to fix. Think of a builder who leaves a hidden service hatch and never seals it. Convenient during construction, an open invitation afterward. Which new flaws arrive with AI and machine learning? A fresh class of weaknesses aimed at the models themselves. With large language models, prompt injection is the big one, where crafted input tricks the model into ignoring its real instructions, because the model often cannot tell developer commands from user data. Closely related is system prompt leakage, where the model spills its hidden instructions, handing an attacker the exact rules to bypass. Traditional machine learning has its own pair. Input manipulation, also called an evasion attack, feeds the model subtly altered input that makes it misclassify, while data poisoning corrupts the training data itself so the model learns the wrong lessons or hides a backdoor. The lesson is to treat every interaction with the model as potentially hostile and to secure both the training pipeline and the live environment. Think of slipping a forged instruction into a Clark stack of orders so they carry it out without question. How does a rootkit hide in plain sight? By burying itself deep in the operating system and lying to it. A rootkit can replace the kernel, slip beneath it, swap out device drivers, or infiltrate application libraries. So whatever it feeds, the operating system looks perfectly normal. That lets it hide its own files and processes from the very tools you would use to find them, making it an invisibility cloak for the attacker's toolkit. Often there are no obvious symptoms at all. One clue is a change in the size or hash of key system files, which file integrity monitoring can flag. And once you truly suspect a rootkit, the only trustworthy cure is to rebuild the machine from clean sources, because you can no longer believe anything it tells you. Think of a burglar who rewires the security cameras to loop empty footage while they work. How do slow, tiny attacks slip past you? By staying under the threshold that would raise an alarm. These are incremental attacks, and there are two classic forms. Data diddling is making small, quiet changes to data as it is entered or processed, rather than obviously wrecking a file. So it hides unless integrity checks or file integrity monitoring catch it, and it is usually an insider's game. The salami attack whittles away tiny slices of value, like shaving fractions of a cent off countless transactions until they add up to real money. You counter both with separation of duties, tight control over code, and monitors that watch for the small, repetitive transfers most people would overlook. Think of someone skimming a single grain of rice from every sack in the warehouse, unnoticed each time, a fortune over a year. So let's bring it together. No architecture is airtight, so you learn the flaw patterns. Covert channels leak data through timing or storage paths you are not watching. Design and coding flaws, from backdoors to sloppy error handling, leave openings you close with review and testing. AI and machine learning bring prompt injection, prompt leakage, evasion, and data poisoning, so you treat every model input as hostile. Rootkits hide deep and demand a full rebuild, and incremental attacks like data diddling and the salami attack stay small on purpose. Watch for the subtle, and you catch what the confident miss. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on roocloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.